I knew you would click on in this one. You men are so predictable, guy. Elizabeth is a middle elderly female who works as an instructor at a junior excessive college because of her line of labor. One could count on that she may be very accountable and being concerned, however, it's miles the complete opposite. Elizabeth is, without a doubt, a clumsy and impolite girl who curses at the scholars and makes them watch films in elegance maximum of the time she is beneath the impact of both alcohol or narcotics. Elizabeth Best has one purpose in her existence: to marry a wealthy man and suck all of his wealth in quick. She is a gold digger. Presently, Elizabeth is courting the son of an incredibly rich businessman, and matters are searching excellent for her. So at some point she arrogantly quits her task on the college as she not calls for employment. But while she arrives domestic, she discovers her boyfriend and his mom watching for her in a stunning flip of occasions. The fellow says that he would not need to marry her anymore. He has eventually found out that Elizabeth most effective cares approximately his cash, and not anything else. These types of months she has stolen cash from his pockets, his workplace, or even his mom's room to shop for luxurious stuff for herself. Elizabeth attempts to give an explanation for that this isn't always the case. However, he would not pay attention and angrily leaves Elizabeth in a difficult state of affairs. Now no longer most effective has her dream of turning into wealthy shattered. However, she is likewise jobless. Now Elizabeth attempts searching out jobs for some months. However, due to the fact she would not have a lot expertise, nobody hires her at Ultimate. She swallows her delight and rejoins her antique company, the Junior Excessive College. On her first day, she bumps into her antique nemesis Amy Squirrel, and the two exchanged a few insulting phrases with every different "it's miles" glaring that each of them hate each other with a ardor after this. Elizabeth heads to her elegance, wherein the scholars are overjoyed to look her again, but she ought to care much less. She would not even train them. And as an alternative begins off evolved having her breakfast there, whilst the scholars begin soliciting for a brand new lesson. She activates the TV and makes them watch Stand and Deliver. Oh, the thriller recapped model, pronouncing that it'll enhance their grades after this. She covers her face together along with her jacket and falls asleep with inside the elegance. At some point of the lunch ruin, Elizabeth reconciles together, along with her best pal with inside the faculty, Lynn, who's additionally a fellow train. Certain, the two chat approximately their lives, and Elizabeth exhibits that she is making plans to go through breast enhancement surgical procedure in order that she will grow to be extra stunning and appeal to rich men, aka sociopaths. In the meantime, we're added to the health club Nasium instructor of the college, Russell, ever for the reason that Get Move he has had a massive way down on Elizabeth. However, she in no way entertains him. That is due to the fact he lacks the handiest exceptional she appears for in guys being wealthy. At some point, a good-looking man named Scott joins the faculty instead instructor, and while Elizabeth learns that he's rich, she at once begins off-evolved circling him. At an opportune second, she bumps into him and introduces herself. She then cleverly makes him display his courting repute, which seems to be unmarried. Scott opens up that he lately broke up together along with his lady friend, or even is going on to expose a photo of her. While Elizabeth sees it, she turns into jealous because the female has a huge chest. She additionally assumes that Scott Handiest prefers the one's types of ladies, so she makes it her purpose to undergo breast enhancement surgical procedure. With inside the subsequent scene, Elizabeth heads to a health center and prepares to fill out the shape for the surgical treatment. However, while she learns that the system will price her a whopping $9,000, she at once stops. Elizabeth does not actually have 50 greenbacks in her account, so she can be able to wait in the meantime. That night, she calls all her buddies and pals, hoping that she will get a few donation for the surgical operation, but considering that they all realize her real nature, they clearly hold up on her. Elizabeth then reverts to her ex-boyfriend and needs that he pay her $9,000 as reimbursement for breaking off their marriage. However, even he refuses and disconnects the decision, a whole lot to her frustration. The following morning in elegance, as Elizabeth is passing the time as ordinary, one of the college students processes her and inquires if she would really like to have her vehicle washed. She, in addition, explains that the whole elegance may be collaborating with inside the annual car wash occasion to be able to be plenty of a laugh. Elizabeth does not even pay attention to her phrases. However, whilst the scholar famous that they earned 6,000 greenbacks final year, she will become startled. "Wash my automobile, kids, and purchase me a few knockers." Elizabeth then inquires which instructor is main them to the occasion, and to her dismay, she learns that it's Miles none aside from her nemesis goal. Notwithstanding the setback, Elizabeth is unwilling to skip up on any such golden possibility, so she heads to the importance workplace and begins off-evolved seducing him together along with her. Seems as soon as he will become aroused, she requests that he make her in rate of the automobile wash occasion in place of Amy. To harm a mild, he is of the same opinion without even wondering 2 times. The subsequent morning, Elizabeth heads to the occasion with inside the maximum revealing get dressed that she will be able to discover. She then starts off evolved, washing the automobile as properly, additionally splashing quite a few water on her frame. This shocks all of the girls round. However, the guys are satisfied at what they see. Even a policeman receives captivated through her splendor a lot that he crashes his automobile into some other Elizabeth, then needs more money from the guys, claiming that her college is in dire want of more budget for the scholars. Fantastically, the plan works, as through the quit of the day she is capable of make round 10000 greenbacks. Elizabeth offers 1/2 of it to the faculty, and secretly continues the opposite 1/2 of for herself. In the meantime, Amy catches wind of this, and angrily is going to the main. The latter is relieving himself with inside the bathroom, so he's expectedly enraged on the surprising genuine inclusion into his privateness. Amy claims that Elizabeth is stealing from the college budget, and needs that she be punished. But the major says that he can do not anything till strong proof is discovered towards her. The following day at faculty is the once-a-year determined trainer assembly as anticipated. Many mother and father have covered up in Elizabeth's magnificence, as they all are indignant with how their kids are being taught. They confront Elizabeth and call for a proof as to why she by no means teaches instructions and usually performs films with inside the elegance. Additionally, what offers, "Why are you so rattling attractive, Roger?" in reaction. She truly says, "Do not educate me the way to do my paintings." After some time, while the assembly ends, involved father secretly fingers her 200, inquiring for that she deliver his son more interest. This offers our foxy protagonist. But any other concept, she meets with all of the mother and father separately and takes cash from them, promising that she can be able to deliver their youngsters' private interest. Now Elizabeth has most effective 1,000 greenbacks brief of her breast enhancement surgical procedure. Let's cross, because the days skip she keeps being irresponsible and definitely neglects her college students. Elizabeth additionally rejects the health club nasium teacher Russell's advances, but she does shape a friendship with him. However, Amy has additionally began out creating a circulate at the rich and good-looking Scott. The two have come to be near, and are usually collectively making Elizabeth extraordinarily jealous. Someday she learns from her nice pal Lynn that the faculty goes to host a opposition for the academics. Whosoever makes their college students get the great grades in the imminent country check will win a coins prize of 5,000 greenbacks. Feels like a few new cats to me listening to this. Elizabeth will become ecstatic, and she or he makes a decision to sooner or later begin coaching her college students. So from the very subsequent day, she comes early to magnificence and makes absolutely each person open their books, stunning them. Elizabeth additionally makes certain to offer them homework, and each day assignments. She would not even allow them to speak to every different in elegance. This is going on for some days, and the scholars significantly enhance, but it's far nevertheless now no longer sufficient to skip the approaching nation check that's just a few days away. Elizabeth, who's determined to win the 5,000 greenback coins prize, makes a decision to take subjects into her personal palms that night. Time she clothes seductively, and methods a nation professor named Carl, who's in price of making ready and dispensing check questions. The plan works, and the person at once receives aroused and takes her to his location, whilst he heads to his bedroom to put together. Elizabeth spikes his drink with sound asleep tablets, which Carl later consumes, and receives knocked out, taking gain of the possibility. Elizabeth steals the questions from him and offers them to her college students the subsequent week. The check consequences pop out, and all her college students skip with exemplary grades, and as a result, making her victorious. Elizabeth wins 5,000 greenback coins prize, and with this she ultimately has sufficient cash to go through the surgical procedure. We will see how a lot right the brand new boobies do her whilst she's in prison. So without losing any time, she heads to the health center and books an appointment, but the subsequent day she receives dejected to examine that Scott has now began out relationship Amy. They look like deeply in love with every different. Elizabeth is enraged that her plans are another time being foiled via way of means of her nemesis. However, she continues to be unwilling to surrender the subsequent week. The college is taking all of the college students on the excursion, and those in price could be Scott and Amy. While Elizabeth learns of this, she comes up with a foxy plan. She injects an apple with a few chemical and leaves it on Amy's table, understanding that she is immensely keen on the fruit. As anticipated, Amy takes a chew out of the apple without even inquiring wherein it got here from, via way of means of the night. Her face is included with rashes and allergic reactions. Fearing that she would possibly unfold it to the scholars, the foremost appoints Elizabeth to update her. Withinside the excursion, withinside the subsequent scene, Elizabeth takes complete benefit of the possibility and turns into near with Scott that nighttime they actually have sex mystery someplace else. And resentful Amy begins off-evolved, seeking out clues to expel Elizabeth from the faculty. She is going to her elegance and attempts scanning through her table. However, maximum of the drawers are locked. For this reason, Amy switches her table with Elizabeth's, after which makes a janitor smash open the drawer to harm a mild. She discovers the query papers that Elizabeth had stolen from Carl following this. Amy heads to the mains room and tells him the entirety approximately how Elizabeth cheated to assist her college students get appropriate grades this time. The main believes her. However, he additionally says that he can most effective hearthplace Elizabeth if Carl confesses to the tale. So the identical day Amy confronts Carl in his workplace and blackmails him into confessing the entirety, she warns him that if he would not, she can be able to divulge all of his wrongdoings in public. Reluctantly, the terrible man consents elsewhere at the excursion. Elizabeth is having a superb time with the scholars. She even facilitates one of the bullied boys grow to be famous with the aid of providing him together along with her. Undergarments, wow, she will prison. While Russell sees this, he will become significantly inspired. He commends Elizabeth on her generosity, and in reaction she compliments his honesty and top looks. Their romantic communication is rudely interrupted 11 though, whilst Amy arrives on the scene and scoffs Elizabeth that she goes to be arrested. Quickly listening to this, our protagonist realizes that the stolen check papers were located, so she comes up with a plan of her personal as quickly as she heads domestic. She will pay her roommate and orders him to supply a package deal to Earl, while the latter gets the package deal and opens it. He unearths numerous nude pics of him, which Elizabeth had reputedly taken while he turned into knocked-out dude. She's long past, she is going to prison now. She asks him to make a fake confession, and in go back she can be able to maintain his pictures a mystery. This places Carl in a totally hard state of affairs, as each the women are blackmailing him with their needs. However, after a whole lot of attention, he facets with Elizabeth and lies that he has in no way even met her. Then Elizabeth herself steps ahead and claims that a person withinside the faculty were the usage of narcotics in elegance right here. It's Miles discovered that she has already observed that Amy had switched desks in her absence. Whilst the lowermost drawer consists of the check papers, the uppermost one includes narcotics. This drawer remains nevertheless closed, and Amy has no concept what is interior of it due to Elizabeth's claims. Numerous police officers stormed the faculty and begin looking through all of the desks. While it is Amy's flip, the narcotics are discovered and he or she is right now taken into custody. This eventually brings an stop to the battle among the two girls withinside the very last scene. Scott methods Elizabeth and asks her out on a date, expressing that he likes her, however, rather she turns him down. Elizabeth says that she already has a person in her lifestyles who's clever, being concerned, and good-looking. She then turns to Russell and kisses him passionately, therefore beginning their dating. Elizabeth additionally cancels her breast expansion surgical operation as she is not inquisitive about attracting rich men. The film ends as Elizabeth guarantees to be a critical instructor and assist all her college students reap wonderful educational grades any longer. However, she's nevertheless an awful man or woman, and I nonetheless assume she ought to visit prison. This some distance withinside the video. In case you need to look extra of such film recaps, hit the subscribe button to come to be a part of our film family.